That was alright?
All good, bro.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
This is it.
This is it, yeah. I did warn you yesterday. It's probably a
Cold,
bit cold in the house.
Yeah, it's real nice spec.
Yeah, so this is one of the bigger rooms in the property. So I think there are a few rooms in here, double occupancy. So obviously these ones all come with en suites. You can see really nice spec of the room. They've done it to a really good high standard.
How many bedrooms is this place?
It's 6 bedrooms.
How many people can it legally sleep?
9 people.
9?
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously the double occupancy ones, I think
Yeah.
we can squeeze a bit more in those. But yeah, literally all newly refurbed, like new built-in cupboards and things like that, which I think is really nice.
Yeah.
Nice touch.
That's great spec.
Yeah.
Robust stuff as well. So how did you come about finding this property?
So this property is through the same agent I have my other HMO with. So yeah, I think I built a really good relationship with
Yeah.
them. So I didn't even call them up for this property. He just called me
They
up.
called you?
Called me, said I got another one on the market, came and viewed it. And the funny thing is I put an offer in and then he called me back a few days later saying, I need this is my max, this is what I need to hit or whatever. I think he did a few more viewings and I think no one kind of...
That's when we spoke on
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah. So then he called me again saying, oh, can you reach out, whatever? And I said to him, listen, this is my max offer,
Yeah.
this is what I can
Yeah.
offer. He had to think about it. I think he twisted that landlord's arm a little bit and he said, like, these guys are good, we've got a few,
Yeah.
like they're managing a few of ours now.
That's what tends to happen. Like the agents, once you get them on side, they kind of fight for your corner.
Yeah.
Like encourage the landlord to go with you. So
Yeah,
it's really
so,
cool.
So that was a good thing because I was considering increasing it, but then again my margins were too tight.
So how much is this going to profit?
So this one, depending on which tenants I get in,
Yeah.
between about maybe 700 to 950.
So without picking up the phone, someone's called you and
Yeah.
given you up to £950 pay rise a month. It's crazy, isn't it? Once you build that relationship, a lot of people are scared.
So, Amar, you said that the rent that they were asking for this place was a bit too high.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us some more about that?
So I actually ran the numbers for this property and I basically gave them my absolute best offer for the property and I told them obviously there's not really any scope because this is our best offer. There's no point kind of going back and forth. So yeah, like anyone says, beggars can't be choosers. You go in with your best offer and you have to kind of stick to your guns. You can't keep kind of going back and forth and maybe increasing it by like £50, £100. Then
Doesn't make you look very
it doesn't,
professional,
yeah.
does it?
It doesn't make you look professional.
Well, yeah.
Certainty, this is my offer, this is what I can afford to pay,
Yeah,
that's
and
what I'm offering.
then if they don't accept it, you move on. You're not kind of, maybe I should have gone in for the extra 100. Would they have accepted it? If you go in straight with your best and final, it's like buying a house. How bad do you want it? Go in with your best and final. And if you don't get it, you're like, okay, at least we went in with our best shot. Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah.
Nice.
Again, these are 2 double occupancy rooms in the HMO upstairs. Very similar again to the one downstairs.
Yeah.
Again, as you can see, very high spec.
Yeah.
Very
Got
new.
good ensuite.
Yeah.
They all got ensuite.
Yeah,
All of them.
all of them are on
Brilliant.
suites.
That's quite a really good size as well, you know?
I think the shower is
So how much are you going to charge for this
That's
room?
beautiful, so.
So this one has actually gone for 1,200.
£1,200.
Yeah. So someone's already, I haven't even got the contract yet, someone's already come, viewed it and said that they want to take this room.
£1,200 for a room.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's actually interesting, all of the rooms come with a mini fridge.
Yeah.
So,
That's why it's so cold in here.
so yeah, we're having a bit of a discussion because obviously they all come with mini fridges. I'm a bit conscious about the energy and there's no freezer. So obviously
Have you accounted that in the expenses though?
not as much. I think that's something that we're going to need to consider. But then I'm also thinking about putting a freezer downstairs. But then, like I said, I'm just a bit conscious on the energy, really.
Can you see this, Chris?
Take it. I might slow-mo it. Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
So saving on energy costs.
The unfortunate thing about each tenant having their own fridge as well is that you won't get the "they've stolen my milk" row happening every week, so it will save you loads of time.
Yeah. And to be fair, with a lot of people that have come and viewed my other HMO, a lot of them have asked about mini fridges in that house and things like that. And I just thought, I've got 3 fridges in that house. Like, you don't need to have another mini fridge in there. But in this one, maybe I would consider, like, obviously putting another fridge in just for kind of use, because I don't want, again, same silly comments. I have nowhere to like put my frozen food, things like that. I think it's just a bit easier for tenants, obviously, in that sense.
Time to put it in the wardrobe today.
So you secured this Friday. You're in here now.
Yeah.
So how's it all with the landlord? They accepted your offer and you got the keys instantly.
So how
you got a rent-free period?
I've got a rent-free period. So how it happened is, so obviously the agent called me. We came and viewed, did put an offer in. So he accepted last week Friday, and then the agent basically called me and said, listen. Because I asked for a month rent-free period, he's like, a month from when you sign the contract is going to be a bit sticky. So what you can do is, there's a lot of books outside. I'll give you the key, I'll give you the access. You can come and do viewings and set up and whatever you want to do, and then we'll start basically rent payment on the 1st.
Yeah, I mean, so you got 2 weeks rent-free period, but there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks rent-free is still really good, considering there's literally no. So you've done no work.
Apart from like setting up the ad and doing the viewing.
Oh right, yeah, but like no feature.
No.
You've got to chuck like a mattress protector.
Or to be fair,
turn the heating on, turn the lights on. That's it. Like 2 weeks rent free is actually really generous, considering it's pretty much a brand new refurbed property.
Yeah.
Usually they're like, no, there's nothing for you to do.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
But I think also because there's some like building stuff downstairs and things like that, they haven't fully
Quite finished.
They haven't quite finished.
Yeah.
I think there's still a few like electrical things they need to do around. So
It's a win-win though, because you can get in and get it tenanted, but the landlord can get you in early because it's not finished.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
So the 3 that we looked at, they're all double
Yeah.
occupancy ones. So obviously you can tell these ones are quite spacious and they're quite big. So again, that bathroom is quite nice as well.
Yeah.
But again,
how much is this room?
This one is about between 1,050 and 1,100.
Sorry?
1,050 to 1,1. It's what I'm targeting basically.
That's crazy. It's
But
just,
whether I get that, I don't.
it's just all relative though, isn't it?
Yeah.
London wages. And,
Yeah.
yeah. It's an incredible property, bro. So what's the plan after this property? Just keep plugging away. Social housing.
So I've looked at social housing. The only issue with this one is because obviously the landlord, I think he had social housing, I heard social housing provided him before. I think they kind of messed up the property. So he's like obviously repainted, redone everything. So he was a bit cautious.
There you go. That's why landlords go with us. It's based on bad experience in the past, and it's like don't want to go with tenants.
Yeah.
Now they won't go with the social housing provider, so they're trying you.
Yeah. But I do have some social housing providers on my books now that are asking me if I have properties. But at the moment I don't have anything available. But yeah, I mean my aim was always to go down HMO route till I can kind of self-sustain a little bit, and then look at an SA, because I wanted it to like mitigate my risk a little bit. So obviously, if I'm in like cash flowing like maybe like 3 to 5k a month, then if I take on a bigger SA and like I don't get any bookings for like first few months, and at least
I'm buffer.
Yeah,
that's exactly where I started. Start with HMO because the due diligence is kind of bulletproof.
Yeah.
You know if you're going to fill the rooms or not. Where with SA, you're like just filling yourself with confidence based on comparables and data in the past. You know, it's each to their own.
Yeah.
Both great strategies. But
it's quite crazy though. Like with this second property now that I mentioned it to like my dad knows about it, and he's quite into properties, but he's into like buy to lets and things like that. So even now he's like let's do one together kind of thing. So I'm getting people like I'm getting people like having more like I wouldn't say more confidence. Like I feel like I knew what I was doing anyway.
Just
but obviously
it's more sustainable now.
Like proofs in the pudding now. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm actually getting.
Yeah. How long have you been doing rent to rent? Is it?
It's been probably just about a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Is
mean,
it something you're glad you did go into?
of course, Kenny. I'll be honest. When I first joined your course,
I know you were very sceptical.
I was skeptical.
You did due diligence on company's house and loved it.
But I mean, that's the type of person I am. I'm always a bit skeptical until obviously I know myself that it works. But then also when I started talking to you, it was when I got let go from my other job, and I was just like, that at that point, like this I need to do something for myself, and I always wanted to go into property, and I thought this is the perfect kind of opportunity for me to actually get my foot in the door with property and just managing things myself. You know? And I'll be honest, I've learned from what I thought I knew when I first started speaking to you to now, it's like a world of difference.
Would you have gone down this route by yourself?
I would have been a bit more skeptical. I think it would have taken me a lot longer,
Yeah.
but I think eventually I probably would have. But I don't think I would have got as far now as quickly as I have with obviously a mentor.
Yeah. So if anybody's watching this on YouTube, what advice would you give them?
I think having a mentor is an amazing thing, because obviously it's not just the knowledge that you gain. I think the community that you've built is amazing. Like, we don't even have to speak to you to get answers on questions that we have. So I think that is basically invaluable. And also just having that confidence, knowing if you get a deal, I can speak to you, or can speak to Dan or Ivan or whatever, and knowing, okay, these guys approve of these deals, you know, it's pretty much good to go, really. It's all on you then afterwards. It's all on the work that you put in. So I think, just obviously having a mentor is great. Being consistent is probably the most important thing.
You said you were sceptical at first. What was it that made you sceptical?
I don't know what it was. It's just obviously the unknown.
He's not got the most trustworthy face in the world, has he?
No, you know what, actually, saying that, I was skeptical on the business model. I wouldn't say I was skeptical on Kenny. I think once me and my business partner had a call with you, I went away and I said to my business partner, like you can tell Kenny, like, you can trust him, you can, like, there's something about, I don't know what it is, there's something about you that just makes you, like, you know what you're talking about, and you've obviously got the proof of all the mentees that you have. So I mean, like I said, I was skeptical more on the business model, because obviously it's just unknown. We don't really know.
Yeah, most people are like, will it work for me?
Yeah.
You know, that's where most people sit. Will it work for me? It's like, no. Will you make it work for you?
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, it works.
Yeah.
Proof is in my YouTube, really. There's a video of me considering starting in property, and I made the video, and it's like, see where it will take me. You know, will I become successful in property? Will I not? Let's see where it takes me. And it's quite a nice video for me to look back on, and even mentees or potential clients or people looking into it can watch videos like that and then watch my whole journey. And you know, starting coaching and then creating a team, and then the video tours, and the community aspect. So you hop on Dan's Zooms. So how has Dan helped you?
No, Dan is, I think Dan is amazing as well. I think he's done really well from, obviously, like, he started pretty fresh as well. So from where he's come from, and obviously all the knowledge he's gained from obviously joining the course, and not even just joining the course, I think a big thing is obviously doing your own kind of research, know what you want to do once you've got a bit more knowledge on HMOs or SAs, like what kind of path you want to go down. And I think Dan, like, he's really honed in on that social housing aspect, and obviously him and James, is it James?
James,
they're killing it now. So
they're doing very well. So
and obviously they've got their patch as well. And the thing is, like me, for example, with this property, because I've got a few here and I've done a lot of research on this area, I didn't really need to put an ad out for this property. The only reason I did was because of, like, obviously the time of year and things.
You know the area as well, don't you?
But yeah, I know the area, and I know what I could probably offer just by obviously looking at the property, and I think that also plays a big part. Like, if you have a patch, knowing what.
Having a patch, knowing the due diligence, then you can act faster, can't you?
Yeah.
I love it. I haven't tested the market, but I know it'll work.
Yeah.
So I know you haven't gone down the service accommodation route, but have you jumped on any of Ivan's Wednesday's calls?
So at the beginning, I did. I have watched a lot of his calls. I think the main ones I was pretty interested in is how he does the due diligence
Yeah.
on like property market, property market intel and Airbnb and all that stuff. So I think I'm pretty comfortable with doing the due diligence. I think for me it's just finding those deals really.
Yeah, and going for it.
Yeah. And obviously having the confidence to go for something that you haven't tried before. So.
Yeah. And also Chris. So Chris, the mindset coach. Have you jumped on any of his Tuesdays?
He's seen quite a lot of my videos, haven't
Would have
you?
been awkward if he said no.
The next question is going to be more awkward. Like, has he helped you at all? No,
Yeah. I won't answer that question.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, let's go outside then, because it's warm outside.
So with these dark months, I think the thing is, so when I first joined, I saw a lot of people picking up keys, getting deals. I was thinking, why can't I do that, or what am I doing wrong? But now obviously I picked up this property in the second week of Jan. This is a lot of previous hard work.
Yeah.
It's not just, okay, I picked up the phone for the first 2 weeks of Jan and I called an agent and they're giving me this
Delayed
property.
gratification.
Yeah, this is like me putting in like 6 months calling up this one agent, taking a deal off him, obviously constantly hounding him for deals, and now he's got one on the market.
Yeah, now you're giving yourself £950
So
payroll.
6 months. How often have you spoken to this agent?
Pretty much, maybe not every week, every 2 weeks.
At least every other week, if not every week. Just constantly checking in.
Just constantly checking in.
It's all in the follow-up, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
always in the follow-up, building that relationship.
Yeah.
Did you get your first deal off with the same agent?
No.
No. So this is the first deal off this agent. He called you.
No, it's the second deal off this agent, but my first deal I got, it was more in central London.
Yeah.
So that one was a different agency. But this one, I've spoken to these guys so much, I even went into the agency and I got the manager's number. So now I call the manager as well. And to be fair, he calls me as well. He's like, I've got another deal here. You let me know what you think, come review it, whatever. And he's even given me the freedom now, if there's a lockbox outside, he'll just be like, okay, just call me when you're outside, I'll give you the code, you go take a look, take a video, look around,
Yeah, I love that.
tell me what you think,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I don't get why more agents don't do that. When I handed one of my properties back, I left the lockbox on the wall.
Yeah.
So I thought, I even said to the agent, would you like me to do that? And I'm 100% sure they said yes. But then they charged me £80 to remove it, and they wanted the code, right, to get in, to remove it. And looking back on it, I'm like, I'm not going to give you the code. And I did give them the code. But yeah, when handing properties back, literally put it back to exactly how you found it.
So that's really cool though. So 6 months of grafting and just even no deals. Just hi, it's Amar again. How you doing?
So,
Checking in.
It was, to be fair, it was a bit like that at the beginning. Obviously, I got my 8-bedroom HMO with this agent. So obviously, from then we started communicating a bit more because obviously if there was any issues or whatever, any kind of payments or like any general back and forth with agents. So then from there, since I got that deal, once I filled it, I was kind of ready. Let's go again. And I was calling them. Do you have any other deals in this area? You know what? They kind of know roughly what I'm looking for now anyway.
Yeah.
So they're just like, yeah, come and have a look, and you can kind of take it from there, send your best offer, and see what happens really.
Amazing.
What's this in, Amar?
So this is just like I guess like an outhouse. I'm gonna probably use it as like a dining room / utility area, so maybe a washing machine and things like that in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a nice little space for the tenants to use. I think it just adds a little bit of, I guess, a bit of value to the property. Actually, I don't have access to it yet. So.
Okay. But yeah, it's actually it's winter and it's warmer out here than in that house. And I think it's 3 degrees today, and it's colder in that house. But yeah, it's brilliant. Real good spec. So yeah, well done. Without even picking up the phone, you got it.
Yeah. Hopefully fill the rooms pretty quickly and then on to the next one.
Yeah. Cool. So if you want to see more people like this, make sure you're following the channel, subscribing, and follow the playlist, Mentee Property Tours. And yeah, if you become a mentee, me and Chris, if Chris is capable, we'll be coming to your property. So take care, guys. See you on the next video.
Well done, bro.
So guys, if you want to know exactly how we go about doing this, go to the description below this video, click the free training. It's a 20-minute free training video. All you need is your details, and you can watch it straight away to show you exactly how we do it.